How we doing, folks? This week we've got this to play with. The 2020 Honda Africa Twin Adventure Sports DCT. Ooh!
I've been a real bad boy on the town all night. Starting to calm down with the morning light. I've been down in the dirt.
Right then, folks, off we go. So I hit drive, I'm in touring mode, and off we go. So I've just sadly had to start the day at the hospital because I have to get an MRI scan. If you don't know what's been going on, I ended up in hospital about 2 or 3 weeks ago, not from a crash, with pancreatitis. I had pain like I've never had before, sort of just below my chest into my stomach. It was horrendous. Got that on a Saturday, still there by Monday, so I went to the doctors and got admitted to A&E. So we are now about 3 weeks later, and I've just had my MRI scan. So we'll see what's going on there. But anyway, back to this. The 2020 Honda Africa Twin Sport. This is the full DCT model. Actually, I've just realised I don't know anything about this, so I better pull over, check stats, and I'll get back to you. What's it again? Proper planning prevents. Yeah, it's me all over at the moment. Right then, folks, I think I have a vague idea what I'm talking about. The 2020 Honda Africa Twin Adventure Sports DCT model. This thing has just over 100 brake horsepower, 105 Newton meters of torque, so it's not going to be winning any prizes on the figures alone. Curb weight for the DCT is 248 kilograms, I believe. Tank size, I've got no idea. It doesn't say in the brochure, but it looks fairly hefty to me, so I'd imagine if this is competing, which it is, with the likes of the GS Adventure, which has a 30 litre tank, I'd imagine this would be in the sort of 25 litre plus range. Allegedly, you're looking a good 300 odd miles to a tank. Speaking of which, what fuel have I got? A third of a tank at the moment. Okay. So I have plotted a little route, as usual with Kalimoto, starting at the hospital and I'm ending at my house. But I want to plot a bit of a random ride. So how do you do that? Well, looking at the screen there, all you simply do is as usual, you just go to random ride, set the sort of rough direction you want to go, north, south, east, west, or anywhere in between, roughly how many miles you want to be doing, let it generate the random route, and then if you push and hold on the screen anywhere on the map, that will drop a pin, like Google Maps. And you can then use that to set as destination, set as a via, all that sort of stuff. And then, as you can see, I set it as a via point, and then you can drag and drop that anywhere in the sort of map point order you like. You can reverse the direction, you can do all sorts. It really is a cracking little tool. But anyway, this is not a plug for Kalimoto. Well, it is. I think it's cracking. They are a sponsor, but I genuinely think it's a cracking app. So, as always, I've got free codes for the premium features. Drop me a line, details down below, and I shall send you a code for a month's free trial. Back to the Africa Twin. So, I'm in touring mode at the moment, and with the DCT is basically, it's just in automatic mode. Just drives like an automatic. And it does seem to change up through the gears really quickly, like I'm in 5th going up a big steep hill at 27, 4th. It's dropped down to 4th. Oh, I should have gone there. So that is something that seems a little bit weird. I'm assuming that will change as you change the mode. It's got loads of different modes. It's like a modern fighter jet. This screen here is a big, massive LCD screen, and it's touch screen as well, which apparently you can use with normal gloves. These gloves, these Nox Androids, aren't like touch screen gloves, you know. I've bought little pads, I got them on Amazon, that I can stick on here, and that will turn them into smartphone gloves, but I haven't done that yet. The ride feels nice and smooth. Gear changing's quite clunky, but it's no clunkier than like my GS's, for example. It feels quite a laboured ride. You know, I'm in 6th gear at 30 miles an hour, 32 miles an hour there. I feel like I should be in like 3rd, maybe 4th at a push. I think what I'll do is I'll whack this up to sport and just see what that's like. So how do I do that? One of these buttons. No. Gravel, no. Off-road, definitely not off-road. User 2, no. Tour, no. Urban, no. This is my fault because Honda did send me like some computer-based training to do before you pick this bike up, believe it or not, and I haven't done it. I didn't do my homework, people. My own fault. Oh, I don't like that about like automatics. You know, you roll off the gas and nothing happens because it's in top gear. Yeah, that's very weird. I don't like that. How do I need to pull over somewhere that's not in somebody's driveway, because round here they'll send out the dogs. This is very boring for you, I do apologise, people. I'll switch you off and we'll continue this chat when I know what I'm doing, ish, kind of. Stand by. Okay, right. I've got her back to the original tour screen. Not entirely sure how I did that. So we'll put her in drive. We'll push again to go in sport. Yeah, that actually feels a lot smoother on the change as well. Oh yeah, and she feels a bit more sprightly. This is more like it. I like this. I didn't like that normal drive mode. It just felt too sluggish and clunky. But the sport feels good. Now this does have like effectively a Triptronic gearbox, and that way you select going using the paddle flippers up and down gears. Looking forward to trying that. That should be a lot of fun. Now I've firmed up the suspension. It was just set at the softest mode. You can then do like rider and pillion, and then you can do rider, pillion and luggage, or rider and luggage. If you look at the touchscreen there, you can see I've got it set as rider with luggage. I could set it as rider and pillion with luggage. So I take it back, it's not the stiffest setting yet, but this feels great. For those of you who don't know, my stats: 6'3", 20 stone, a regular 32-inch inside leg, depending what side. Whee! It might be 32.5 inch on one side. Now the indicator switch is taking a little bit of getting used to. It's under, like directly underneath the horn. So I've already given someone the horn this morning. Wallop. Yeah, I've already hit the horn by accident. But that'll just be something I need to get used to. I'm sure by the end of this ride it won't be an issue. Now the screen can be adjusted, but you need two hands to do it, and at the moment it is set pretty much ideally for me, to be honest. That is the highest setting that you can have. It does come down a lot more, but that's fine for me. I just have to make sure I don't slouch though to see over it. I don't like looking through screens, so this is not bad. I can see right over the top of it, and yet I'm still protected from the wind buffeting. It's a very nice ride actually. I rode the 2018 Africa Twin when I was over in Slovenia a couple of months ago with Canary Moto Tours, and that one felt very soft. You know, those Africa Twins, those models, they felt quite wallopy. You know, they've got a big 21-inch front wheel, and the ride just felt a bit like that. You get used to it, and by sort of the second, third day, I actually really enjoyed riding that bike. I love the sound of the engine. The Africa Twin, that beautiful 1100cc thumping engine. Gorgeous, lovely note to it. And although I've not managed to spank this one yet, once we get on the Nationals, we will. So you see, it's a nice big display that. There's no getting away from your speed really here, because they show it digitally there, and then they've got it there again on the LCD screen. There is a plethora of information available there. I think the bike looks amazing. These adventure sport colours, the white, red and blue, just looks lovely. Looks really good. At the moment I've got all the suitcases, as my mate Blokey calls them. Got all the suitcases attached, top box and panniers. Obviously this is the first rider review, and I will do a full review once I've been riding it for some fairly serious mileage. I like to try and get about 1,000 miles in minimum if I can when I do a review, just to see what the bike's like, so we'll see. It is a very, very smooth, pleasant ride. Now I think there's quite a bit of 30s to go, so this is going to be a bit boring. Join me when we can up the ante a little bit and have some fun. Right folks, the bike has come alive. To use the TempRocket paddles there, the downshift is right at the bottom, directly underneath the indicator. So now, what I've found is I'm hitting the indicator sometimes when I'm trying to change down. The up paddle is nice and easily accessible with your left index finger, and it's right at the back of this console. It's just beautifully positioned, very, very easy. So if you have a look, I'm in 4th there, roll off the throttle, it goes up to 5th. Okay, say I want to change down, all you need to do is tap that down paddle and watch the gearing. And the bike comes alive. And the beauty is, it will automatically change up if you don't do anything, if you're not under power. So say I drop it down to, I'm in 5th, I drop it down to 3rd, but I don't do anything to the gas, I just keep the gas the way it is. After a few seconds of no activity, the bike will automatically up change again up into 4th and 5th. It is weird. You know, when I'm pulling off at junctions like this, I'm looking for that clutch, and I'm looking a bit like the electric bikes, you know, I'm looking to change gear, at least go into neutral or something. Now do these self-cancel. Left that, still nothing yet. Sorry people, this is an experiment. Nah, they don't self-cancel. Okay, show me the Nationals. God, Kent has some beautiful buildings, it really does. Nationals! Here we are, Nationals! Listen to that engine. That's with the stock exhausts. It's no Super Duke, and it is no GS, I'll tell you that. It is no GS in terms of handling, but it's not bad. Yeah, I'm constantly having to change down. Maybe it's just the way I ride, but I don't like that overriding nature of the DCT, where it's constantly trying to put you up through the gearbox, you know, back up to 5th or sometimes 6th, when you're just trundling along. I like it to be down sort of 3rd, nice and responsive. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I often am, according to Mrs. Teapot. She's in a bit of a mood with me at the moment, folks. She says I never listen. I'm not entirely sure why she's moaning, though. I wasn't listening, to be fair. Yeah, definitely TempRocket for me. Much better option. I think they call it something else on this, but you and I know it. It's TempRocket. The paddles. Flappy paddles. Who does not like flappy paddles? Right, boring. See you in a bit. Yeah, get the revs up, get your speed up, and this bike comes alive. I'm having some fun now. enjoying it. There's a lot of crud on these backcountry roads though, you have to watch this. But this thing has got traction control, wheelie control, it's got ABS, cornering lights, it's got everything, absolutely everything. Starting to get used to the indicator switch now. Oh, blimey, slow down, I thought I was a national. Oy. Sorry about that. When you get on this bike, you don't think it's going to be flickable, but once you get the speed up, it is actually surprisingly light and agile, even with the suitcases on the back there. Now I need to get some fuel, down to 2 bars. Right, I'll switch you off because I think this is going to be a little bit boring. See you at the petrol station. What are we reckoning, folks? 2 bars. I reckon it's about a 24-25 litre tank. I reckon 18 litres, 19 litres we're going to get in. 15 litres. Oh, let's brim it. Okay, it's pretty much brimmed. 19 litres. Wasn't far wrong. Let's go pay. Right, that's us with a full tank. So at 2 bars it took 19 litres of fuel. So yeah, I reckon you're probably looking at a 24-25 litre tank. I'll pop up on the screen now what the actual amount is. Those of you in the know will recognise this. We're going to go and do the Camber Sands Road. That was slightly alarming, not much pickup there at all, even though I changed down gear. Whoops. Right, let's have some fun, see what it's like. This is even in 3rd gear, it still feels a bit laboured, I've got to say. You do notice the low amount of torque and BHP this thing has. Compared to the other big adventure bikes, it does lack the grunt. Absolutely. But it feels a very, very planted, stable ride. Handles lovely. Not as spirited as the KTM, either the Super Adventure or the GT. Not as sort of sprightly as the GS or the GS Adventure. I would say it feels a bit more rugged than the Triumph, and I think that's probably due to the engine. That's probably due to the big V-twin engine, but probably equal amounts of agility, in my mind anyway. You know, I've had people getting quite heated in their defence of their beautiful Triumph Explorers. It's a good bike, it's just not as agile or fun to ride as the likes of the GS's, the KTM's, the Ducatis. And this is sort of the same, to be honest, although I do love this big V-twin engine. But it's definitely not tickling my whatsits or setting my heart on fire at the moment anyway. I know Richie Vida loves this thing. And Mr. Fish has just gone and bought a brand new one, not the DCT or the Adventure Sports, but yeah, it's a good bike, but it's not quite right. So you kick it down a couple of gears, it's got a lovely roar and it's got a bit of kick. Not a huge amount of grunt, but it does have enough. And for me, that's where the fun is. So I think for me personally, at the moment, DCT's not doing it for me. Not for this type of bike anyway. However, I do have a good mate who sadly has Parkinson's, and I think DC and the like could facilitate, you know, people who perhaps are maybe losing arthritis or medical conditions. They're losing the ability to work sort of their hands and feet in terms of the gears and the levers and things. Things like DCT is a fantastic option. I've heard from people that DCT on the likes of the Goldwing is just beautiful. And I imagine on this bike, if you're more into your touring, perhaps with a passenger on the back, or you're into the more relaxed style of riding, then maybe DCT is going to be the thing for you. But for me, it's just, I find it too intrusive. Maybe it's just a question of I need to get used to it. I do like these paddles though, they're a bit of fun. This thing will kick on, don't you worry about it. It will kick on, it'll do some speed. I was on a closed section of road earlier. This thing got to some decent speed and the tank bag opened. This is the tank bag Honda gave me with the bike, and it just opened up and flipped open. Like, oh, interesting. So yeah, don't let it fool you. This is not a slouch by any stretch of the imagination. I think what will happen is that the more I ride this bike, the more I get used to this DCT, especially these clicky paddles. Oh, see, that just handles lovely. It feels so planted. I'm not going quick, I know, but it feels lovely. Yeah, the more I ride this and the more I get used to the DCT and the paddles and everything, I think it's probably going to grow on me quite a bit. See there, I don't want it to change up, I want it to stay down. It was just holding third lovely in that corner, and just at the point where I'm just away to put the power on to overtake as it came out the bend in that division, it jumped up, not only to fourth, it went straight up to fifth. So then you hit the down paddle to go to fourth, or to go to what I think will be third, and it's fourth. So you got to go again. But then I suppose if I had just gunned it, if I had just hit the gas, the DCT will automatically register that and it will drop it down a gear again. But it's just delay, isn't it? It's like, you want it how you want it. Right, let's get on the motorway and find out what she's like at reasonable speeds. Stand by. Whoop. I've found the heated grips, I know where they are. Over here on the right hand side with your index finger is a function button. If you pull that, if you look at the display, it gives you your daylight running lights.
So then folks, what do I think of the 2020 Honda Africa Twin Adventure Sports DCT? And that's a mouthful. I've got to be honest with you, this bike intimidated me. I think do you know, it was the screen and the DCT. The screen is just, there's so much information there that's available, and the bike is so customizable with touchscreen alterations to everything. There's so many buttons on there, and I think the fact I was sent like a training package to go through, which I haven't done, it's my own fault, before I rode the bike, I was a little bit intimidated. But having said that, did a ride today, just under 100 miles. I've bonded with it and I've started to actually really like it. To begin with, I thought this isn't going to be my kind of bike. You know, the DCT seemed quite laggy. It charges up through the gearbox so quickly. Like, you're in 6th gear by the time you hit 40 mile an hour, and that's just not how I ride. So even chucking it into sport mode, it lengthens out the gear changing, but it's still very quick. It's still very eager to get up through the box. The TempRocket buttons are a godsend. They change this bike completely for me, completely. And it becomes a lot more fun, a lot more interactive. You can really hustle this bike and enjoy it. The ride is lovely. I have it set on rider and luggage because I'm carrying so much timber. I'm a bit of a fat lad, 20 stone. I like a firmer ride in the bike, so that just firmed up the suspension for me, and it's been lovely. It's a 21-inch front wheel, proper adventure bike, but it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel wallopy like the 2018 Africa Twin I've ridden before did. That felt quite soft in the suspension. This feels lovely, plush, really nice. It can hustle, it can kick on, not massive figures, 100 odd brake horsepower, 100 odd newton meters of torque. It's never going to set the world alight on paper. In practice, again, the Ducati, the Multistradas, the KTMs, Super Adventures, GTs, the GSs, they will all kick its arse in terms of acceleration, top speed, and grin factor, to be honest with you. For me, this is more on a par with the Triumph Explorer 1200, I think. It's capable, it will do it, but it's a bit more refined. The V-twin engine on this brings it above the Explorer for me. I love this V-twin engine. It's got a lot of character. If you kick it down some gears through the paddles, then it unleashes a bit of a beast and you can proper hustle this bike. You can have some fun. I am looking forward to spending a little bit more time on this baby, and I will be doing a full comprehensive review on the bike once I've got considerably more miles on it. So these are quite basic, these first ride reviews. Hope you're enjoying them. If you are new to the channel, thank you very much for lasting this long. Please smash that subscribe button and don't forget to ding dong that bell. If you're a regular subscriber, thank you so much for all your continued support. Remember to give me a like and don't forget to leave a comment down below. If you're in the clan over on Patreon, thank you so much for your continued support. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. If you fancy checking out Patreon, folks, patreon.com/TeapotOne. If you don't, no problem. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. That'll do us now, folks. Remember, keep on getting out there, doing your thing, look after those that you love, but most importantly, live your life. Woo-ha!